Northern Cali born and raised, real shark about that tank. We go hard up in the paint and spin them blocks, they said we can't. Talking all that tough shit, don't end up in a casket. Glock up on my hip, be the only thing that's plastic. Hit him in the belly, guarantee that boy gon' fall. It don't matter who you body, you still a ratchet.
What's cracking with the gente on YouTube, man? Thank you guys for tapping back in, showing love, showing support, all that good stuff. Don't forget to hit that like button, leave a comment down under, subscribe if you haven't already. And as you guys can see through the title and the thumbnail, man, it's part 3 of the neighborhoods that gave me the hardest times growing up. And as I said in the end of my last video, if you haven't watched it, go watch it now, about the P, Baltimores. I gave you guys a sneak peek and told you the last video was going to be on the mob, the West Side mob, to be exact. Eastbound locals, I never really got into it with them. I had like one incident with them my whole life, which I'll probably talk about here. But because it's under the same umbrella, under the same mob. But yeah, so we're gonna be talking about the woo woo. We're gonna be talking about the mob, the most hated and the most aggressive Norteño neighborhood out of San Jose, in my opinion. Like I said, this is not intended to disrespect any other Norteño neighborhoods, but I do feel like the mob has to be. I know I said the same thing for the P, where they're aggressive, but that's just them. The mob, I feel like they have to be aggressive because they get hit from all sides. Whether it be the SHU, which is Horseshoe, Norteños, whether it be SSP, whether it be VST, Clanton, anybody in their vicinity, they beef it with them. So that's why I say that they have to be aggressive. So my first ever run-in with anybody from the mob, it kind of doesn't count because he was not from the mob yet, but he became from the mob later on. So whatever. I grew up with an individual. We were friends. We were really cool at the time when we were kids. But obviously our paths, you know what I'm saying? We took other paths, and he ended up being a Northerner. So it kind of sucked because, like I said, he was cool. We were pretty cool. We weren't best friends or nothing like that, but we were cool. And then, like I said, we just took different paths, and we ended up around the ages of like, I don't know, like 12, 13. We fought maybe like 3 times. We couldn't stand each other after our friendship or whatever. Once we became from where we came from, we could not stand each other, and we got down a bunch of times, whether it was outside of school, whether it was when I remember specifically one time I saw him at a friend's house, because like I said, we were cool. We had mutual friends. He went to a mutual friend's house of ours, and he tried to look up on me, you know what I mean? He tried to trying to press up on me, and he was like, oh, let's throw the gloves. And I said, you know what I'm saying, for what? Like, F the gloves, basically. I was like, you know what I'm saying, like, I'm right here. And so we ended up getting down, and he slipped on the gravel. I specifically remember we're fighting, and he slipped on the gravel, and he did like this little spin, like he pushed himself off of the floor when he fell. So he didn't like fall, and I didn't get on top of him or nothing, and like nothing like that. So I swung at him, and I vividly remember this, bro. Like, it's one of those memories that it's in my head. I swung at him, right, and he did that Matrix thing where like he threw his whole back, like, you know what I'm saying, back, and his left foot, he like extended it, and it hit gravel, and he like did like some little ballerina spin. He did like some little ballerina spin to not fall, and he like got right back up, and we were, you know what I'm saying, we got him in though. It was funny. But later on, I ended up finding out that he became from West Side Mob, and this was years later, like 3-4 years later, when I already had run-ins with other dudes from that neighborhood. And the reason why I don't want to say names of the people is because the mob has always been with the gunplay. You know what I'm saying? You're not really gonna be able to get them up with somebody from the mob in their section, and the mob is very home based to me. Like, I would say a good 70 to 80% of the time, you're gonna see dudes from the mob in their section. Like, you're gonna see dudes either hanging out, walking, or, you know what I'm saying, a dude on a bike, something. You're always gonna see somebody there, basically on foot patrol. And I mean, that's just from my experience. I can't speak for everybody else's experience. I know that there's gonna be people in the comment section that are gonna be like, no, that's false. these dudes are not outside, whoop de whoop. Like there's always that. There's always those comments of, oh, these fools ain't really that. They're not that. Look, I'm just saying from my experience. You know what I'm saying? Because in reality, if you're looking for somebody, if you're looking for something, you're gonna find it. If you go out hunting, if you go out looking for people, and you don't find somebody, you're either not looking hard enough or they're just really not there. But for the mob, I really doubt it. So, like as I said, I don't mention names because of that. These dudes, they protect their block like it's their home. You know what I'm saying? Like these dudes do not play about their neighborhood. And my beefs with those individuals, it was specific ones. It wasn't like the whole neighborhood or nothing like that. It was like 5 dudes from the mob. And I want to say, I don't want to throw this out there, but I do know that at least 3 of them fell off. They're no longer from the mob. They're no longer in good standings, basically. But nonetheless, dudes were with the business. You know what I'm saying? They were doing their thing. I'm not gonna take nothing from them. I mean, back then I probably would have been like, man, they ain't about nothing. But right now, I'll tell you guys straight up, they were handling their business. So as far as that goes, I won't say the stories from WsMob because I don't want to incriminate my homies or their homies. So we'll leave it at that. But what I will say is the story about the one incident I had in Eastbound Locals. Eastbound Locals Mob is their section on the east side. It's on East Hills and White Road. And so I was 19 at the time. I know for a fact I was 19. I was hanging out with one of the homies, and we were just chilling. We were just kicking back. We were smoking at the house, at my place. Because it was where I stayed at that time. It was fairly close to, as I said in the video, BRS. There was neighborhoods all around. So there was BRS, there was V95, but that was like more towards going towards Ocala on White. And then if you go towards Alum Rock, there's Barrio East Side and there's Eastbound Locals Mob. So we're kicking it or whatever, smoking, having a good time, chilling basically, right? And he says, hey, fool, I got this girl that wants to kick it. And I said, all right, do your thing. But as you guys may know, the famous question, does she got a homegirl? And so he asked, he said, hey, you know me, you got a homegirl for my boy? And she goes, oh, yeah, my cousin's actually here right now. I was going to ask you if you had a friend. So, boom, we're like, all right, cool, shoot the pictures, whatever. And we're like, all right, cool, we're on our way. It wasn't too far from where we were at, so we walked to the girl's house. The girl was not affiliated at all. She was a normal girl, but, you know what I'm saying? She just happened to live on Nancy Lane. If you know Nancy Lane, you already know what it is. I don't know if that's eastbound or if that's BES, but whatever. It's in a Norteño neighborhood. Whatever, we hang out, and it wasn't even that late when we left. It was only like 7, so it wasn't even dark outside. So we're like, whatever, we'll just mob it back, you know what I'm saying, on foot. All right, so to put it into perspective, the girl did not live in the Nancy Lane apartments. She lived at the houses. But we had to walk towards the apartments to, you know what I'm saying, to hit the right and go to White Road to walk back to my place. My laptop died as I was telling that story, and I didn't realize that it had died. So I had to listen back and see where I left off at. So if I sound a little different, I do apologize. But, all right, so when we got past the apartments, as soon as we crossed Lindale, we were on Florence walking towards White. As soon as we crossed Lindale, that's when we hear the famous ooh woo, ooh woo. And for the ones in San Jose that know, you guys already know, that's the mob's calling. That's the way the mob does their, you know what I'm saying, instead of doing the whole they do the ooh woo. So we heard that, we're like, all right, it's about to go down. Like, it's about to get cracking. It is what it is. You can't. It was like that scene from Colors when the little dude gets jumped in, the little brother, and he's like, the older brother pulls up and he's like, there's no turning back now, Holmes. You fucked up. That's exactly how I felt. And so, like I said, I'm not gonna woof. I'm not gonna add no preservatives. I'm not gonna lie. Yes, we got the business. You know what I'm saying? It was 3 of them. It was 2 of us, and they definitely got the best of us. I remember when it was all over, I was walking home with the homie. My neighbor was walking like how would I say it, like around the block or whatever, taking a walk basically. And he noticed me and he's like, oh, what's up? And as soon as he got closer to me, he's like, damn, what the hell happened to you? I was like, oh man. And I told him the story, you know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, this and that happened. Went to go kick it with some girls, whoop de whoop. And as a matter of fact, I forgot to mention, my neighbor was a northerner. So he was like, what the hell? He was like, damn, fool, what the hell are you doing over there? And I was like, hey, man, you know what I'm saying? We thought it was sweet. So, yeah, man, that's the story about that, about Eastbound Locals. Again, there's plenty of stories of West Side Mob, but I got to really think about it and see how to word it because, as I said, I don't want to incriminate nobody. But if you do want to, you know what I'm saying, know more about the mob or hear stories from somebody from the mob and you haven't tapped in with Gangster Gucci, you guys need to go tap in over there. You know what I'm saying? Let them know I sent you. Just be like, hey, bro, I seen the story on Dude's channel, Upstate Point of View, and he said you got the 411 on the mob. And as I said, he goes into depth with his stories. He's also talked about how the mob formed, as far as how he went about it, because he's an older dude, you know what I'm saying? So he knows way more about it than I do. He's a member of the mob, former, present, future. I do not know, allegedly. But yeah, man. So that's all I really got to say about these fine gentlemen, these A-class citizens. If you guys like the stories, if you guys like these type of videos, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button, leave a comment down under, subscribe if you haven't already. The goal is to make it out the hood, not stay in it. And I'm going to see you guys soon.